Wayne must be pretty stoked, mate, to get the Royal Star nomination for this week.
Yeah, no, pretty happy with it. Special moment for me, and to have it in Indigenous round, I'm pretty proud. It was a special round for myself.
Are you feeling more comfortable being on the side, being in your second season of AFL football?
Yeah, definitely feel a lot more comfortable, with the players as well. Obviously knowing them a lot better compared to this time last year, and just feeling comfortable with my body and my fitness as well. So.
Wayne, I read an article already today where you spoke about the build-up to Indigenous rounds. Could you just tell us just a little bit about what spurred you on so much and why you enjoyed performing on the big stage?
Yeah, I guess the week's obviously special, and sharing my culture with the club and all the other boys and coaching staff. It's pretty special. We had on the Wednesday we had an elder, Uncle Stevie, come in. He spoke to the club and just said what the round meant to him and what reconciliation meant as well. So and then past players and that spoke as well. So it was good build up, and just exciting to play in the round.
How hard was it performing in such difficult conditions early on?
Oh, you just got to adapt to the conditions, I guess. It was hard to see. When he was running, you couldn't see, but it was just got to adapt, I guess.
What do you think was the key to your performance?
Oh, I don't know, just.
So then you're more comfortable with the game plan now, and you know what's expected of you now.
Yeah, with the wing patterns and that, I'm feeling comfortable with them, and just kind of just knowing the structure and that, instead of just playing on instinct really. So now that I know them, I'm comfortable with them.
You've had a great start to the year, but do you still feel as though your spot in the side is cemented?
Yeah, well, nothing's really cemented. You just got to keep playing consistent footy and play a role for the team, and I guess that's what will get you a game every week.
Do you look back on how far you've come so quickly in Campo? You might be able to touch on this as well, like from your heart scare and then to you've started your first couple of games, and now you've probably cemented, or not cemented, but close to cemented your spot in the 22.
Yeah, well, obviously, when I had that heart scare, I was a bit worried about how that would affect even getting picked up. So, well, looking back from then and playing in the finals, I've come a long way, and I'm happy with the progress that's happened. So.
It's happened quickly.
Yeah, it's happened quickly. It was only a year, 2 years almost. So.
Who's been important in helping you along the way?
Yeah, obviously Campo now, midfield coach. He's been really good help for me. With just everything really. And then the Indigenous boys, they've been help with just like making me feel welcome around the club, and obviously the whole club's been very good, but them in particular, just very welcoming.
Who'd you look up to when you were growing up as a player?
As a player, I looked up to Andrew McLeod. He was one of my favourite players growing up, and always watching him.
Campo, what about the transition from a young start that you, from memory, is the highest pick on the list? Is that right?
Yeah, no, he's. We were rapt to get him because we obviously really rated Wayne with what he was doing at SANFL level at such a young age. But I think you've seen over the course of his short career, his skill and his poise and the way he kicks the ball was a real highlight. So it was always going to take a little bit of time for him to get his body into a position where he can absorb AFL pressure. But he's a really diligent kid. He loves footy. He wants to learn, and that's all you ask from a coach point of view. But we don't teach him too much in offence. He's got that pretty well covered, and we want him to play on instinct. And a lot of the Indigenous boys are. We love the way they play the game, so we let them play. But I guess the structural stuff and the pattern stuff is a little bit overwhelming when they all come in. So that also takes a bit of time, and sometimes that takes away from their natural game because they are thinking about trying to do the right thing as well. So Wayne's got a good balance now. He understands what we want. And he's really contributing every week to the team. And you saw in wet, poor conditions, highly skilled players like Wayne, really stand out in those nights.
Wayne, Wayne, how have you found the defensive side of the game? Campo talked about it. Attacks comes pretty natural to you, but how have you found being a cannibal as a winger and watching your opposing player and stuff like that?
So in defence, or
defensively, how have you sort of is that taking your time to adapt to what you have to do?
Yeah, it's just just being switched on really. That's what's helped me, and Campo's helped me with that sort of my patterns, how I run and that. So it's taking a little bit, but it's pretty simple once you know what you're doing. Just gotta work hard, I guess.
Wayne, you had a rest in round 7. How's the body feeling, and do you think you'd need another rest in the back half of the year?
The body's feeling good at the moment, so the rest was good just to have a little freshen up, and I guess we'll see if I need one. I'd love to play.
Picked a good week to have off, didn't he?
Wayne, I suppose from a midfield point of view, you're playing Geelong obviously Friday night. They've got one of the best mids in the competition in obviously Patrick Dangerfield and Joel Selwood. How do you think the Crows match up against the Cats midfield?
Yeah, I think our midfield, we're not solely relying on one person. We're even contribution across the whole group. So it'll be a good game on the weekend, which should be good.
Scott, does that I guess really epitomise the growth of this group, not just with Wayne, but I guess the whole group, that internal improvement that you guys have had that's taking up that extra gear this year?
Yeah, it's a collective, from coaches, development coaches to, the high performance guys, getting them into a physical shape where they can play more often. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is getting them game time. So, but, Wayne, he's a natural runner anyway, so he's been able to build on that and not come from a long way back. So that's allowed him to play games earlier. But, collectively, the playing group and the coaches were trying to educate them. They're absorbing the information and they want to get better. So that's the natural progression in that these guys are going to improve quickly. And then you give them game time and experience, then hopefully that growth happens.
That natural progression, would you say that's the biggest difference between the Crows of 2016 and 2017, or is there something game plan? What would you say the biggest difference is?
Oh, no, it's definitely those guys are playing more games, so they get more experience, they play together more often, they understand the synergy of the different parts of the ground and the players that they're playing with. So you look at any of those teams that have been around a long time at playing at a high level, a lot of those guys have played 100, 150 games together, so we're building to that, and we're adding new guys into the team as well.
Scott, we've seen the news today that Mitch McGovern and Paul Seedsman are just a couple of weeks away. How important will they be to come the back half of the year?
Yeah, really important. It puts more pressure on guys to perform well, number one, but two, we think they're an important part to our best 22, I guess, going forward. And we haven't seen a lot of seeds yet, but he looks really good. Not that I'm getting too excited, but he looks good. And obviously Mitch, is a talent. So we'd love to have him in our forward line. He just gives us something different up there as well. But yeah, it puts guys on notice to perform and play well, and that's great.
Mitch McGovern was mentioned in an article today by Kane Corns about being one of the important signatures to get. Do you agree with that, or how important is it to retain his services here?
Well, we would like to retain all our best players, no doubt about that. They don't grow on trees, and that's why you try and draft talent in to keep them. So he's important, so is Lever, so is Wayne, so is Sloan, so is Walker, so all those guys are in your best team, so we don't want to lose talent, obviously. So, but I'm sure they'll get done in due course.
As coaches, do you speak to guys like Jake Lever and Mitch McGovern, who are a fairly big priority? Yeah,
not about contracts. That's up to the list management to get that sorted. But as a coaching group and as a club, we'll provide a culture and a club that is fun, it's exciting. We play a good brand of footy and we win most of all. So it's pretty hard to leave a club if you do that.
Geelong's had the number on you guys in recent times. Could you put that down to anything? Obviously, they're a good side. That's one part of it. But anything they do particularly that troubles you guys?
Oh, they've done a couple of things, but we won't let Geelong know that. But look, we'll be... I think the blueprint was the other night. I think if our contest stuff is at the level and we can move the ball the way we want to move the ball and obviously defend, so the 3 phases, if we get all 3 of those phases, we'll give them a hard night.
Geelong's indicated today that Scotty Selwood might go to Sloan. Have you thought much of what you're doing with in terms of Joel and Patrick in the midfield?
Not quite yet, Jessica. Yeah, we've had a couple of meetings.
Both?
I wouldn't have thought so.
No.
Would you take both?
No. You'd take one of them, wouldn't you?
Well, potentially, yeah.
Who would be in the mix for taking roles if you needed to shut one of them down? I'm thinking Laird might be one of them.
Laird might be one,
Who
yeah.
else is good at it?
It's a good question. We've tried a couple of guys over the pre-season, but once again, we won't be giving Geelong any idea if we do it. But they're obviously 2 quality players, obviously, and they're big barometers for their footy team. We haven't necessarily done it in the past, and that's not to say we'll do it on Friday night either, but it's certainly an option that we need to think about, like we do every week, whether we do it.
What is it about the ground down there? You haven't won there for a long time. Is it a difficult ground, or is it just that they've been good over the years?
No, well, they play it really well. It's obviously narrower by pure dimensions, but you look, they structure up really well defensively, and particularly there, it's a field position game, so very hard to score or get it out of your back half if you get locked in there. So that's no secret, but it's how you do it.
Yeah. Wayne, Scotty touched on culture and how good the club is, and you also said you're so close with all the Indigenous guys at the club. Can you just talk to us about how that relationship with Eddie and all the guys has helped you?
Yeah, well, you obviously would have heard we go around to Eddie's fair bit and have, we call it mob night, so we go in there, have a feed and couple of, even though some of the other boys, Mitch Grigg, past play, he comes around, well, he was around the other night with us for that, and it's just good, getting to know each other, especially I didn't know them when I first got drafted, so just getting to know them, making me feel welcome with them, and then once we're here, there's someone that you're pretty close with, so.
And he gets a free feed as well.
And he gets free feed.
Eddie says he brings the meat and Charlie brings the lollies or something. What do you have to bring?
No, I don't bring anything at the moment, but I'm sure I'll get
until
something.
his new contract.
All good guys?
Can I just ask, Scotty Thompson?
Yes.
Is he close to pushing for selection?
He's pushing for selection, yeah. He's back. His body's back in AFL shape, so he's training GPS numbers and the running that he's doing at SANFL level is back to where it should be. So he's now got to put his hand up to take someone else's spot, I guess. So but we're rapt that he's back in some sort of condition and form that we've got a pretty talented guy back there that we can call on.